The footage you see in this video is from a game called Perennial Order. It's a co-op boss run game set in a dark and surreal botanical world. Instead of fighting through regular levels, you and your allies take on giant nature-infused bosses one after another, with each battle feeling like a strange ritual of survival. One of the key mechanics in the game is if you get hit once, you're dead. It's as simple as that. It's quite tough. Anyway, if you're interested to find out more, check out the link in the description below. If you're coming from Windows and looking into Linux for the first time, you've probably seen names like Debian, Fedora, Arch, Ubuntu, Mint, and dozens more. And it can feel really overwhelming. Why are there so many? Do you actually need a special gaming distro? And what on earth is a spin? Personally, I started out with SteamOS for gaming. When I wanted to use Linux for more than that, I tried a few others like Mint and Nobara, but I had some issues installing them. Fedora was the first one that installed flawlessly for me, and I've stuck with it ever since. But since then, I've been very curious about all of the other different distros and the terminology around them. In this video, I dive into that and share what I've learned. Now, I'm not an expert and I am figuring this out as I go, so if I miss something or get it wrong, do feel free to let me know in the comments, that way we can all learn together. Now, a Linux distribution or distro is basically an operating system built around the Linux kernel. Most of them use the same Linux kernel, but they package it with different tools, package managers and desktop environments. That's why there's so many options. Some aim for stability while others focus on new features. Some give you lots of customization and some are designed to be simple and beginner friendly. Now at the foundation are the base distros. Think of them as the roots of the Linux family tree. They build their own systems with their own package managers and repositories. Debian is known for stability, and Fedora is where Red Hat tests new technology. Arch is a rolling release and minimalist. It lets you build your system set up step by step exactly how you want it. Gentoo is for strange people who actually want to compile everything themselves. Slackware is super old school and close to Unix. And then there's also SUSE as well, which has two paths. Basically there's OpenSUSE for the community, and then there's Linux Enterprise, which is for business environments. Most other distros can be traced back to one of these bases. Now from the roots you get derivatives. These are separate projects that branch off from the base, but it keeps the same core system. Ubuntu is the best known derivative, built from Debian. And from Ubuntu you get Linux Mint and PopOS, both with their own style and focus on usability. From Arch you get Manjaro. Manjaro makes Arch easier to install and maintain. And then there's EndeavourOS, which is closer to vanilla Arch but with a smoother setup. Derivatives stand on their own, but they're always tied back to the base from which they came. Then there are spins. A spin is not a whole new distro, it's an official flavour of the same one, usually with a different desktop environment. Fedora has spins with KDE, XFCE and other desktop environments. Some projects are independent. They don't come from Debian, Fedora, Arch or the others. They use their own systems with their own package managers and repos, while still using the Linux kernel. Independents often try bold new ideas, and those ideas can shape the bigger distros over time. If you're moving from Windows, you might be wondering about gaming. And yes, there are distros focused on gaming. SteamOS is the most famous, powering the Steam Deck. The current version is Arch based, while older versions were built on Debian. Bazzite is Fedora based and comes with tools like Proton GE and EmuDeck. Nobara is also Fedora based, created by Glorious Eggroll, a respected Linux community member who also maintains Proton GE. And then there's Garuda, which is Arch based, with performance tweaks and a bold look. And PopOS, while not exactly a gaming distro by name, is very popular with gamers because of the excellent GPU support. Now, you don't need a gaming distro to play games on Linux, but they can make things easier if you just want to plug in and start playing. It's also worth pointing out that not everything that looks like Linux is actually Linux. The BSD family, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, NetBSD, they all have their own kernels. macOS is also Unix based, built on top of Darwin with BSD roots. And then there's ReactOS, which is a separate project, an attempt to be compatible with Windows software. They're not Linux, but they often get mentioned alongside it. So when you see that long list of Linux distros, here's the big picture. Most of them are either a base, a derivative, or an independent project. Once you know these categories, Linux feels less like chaos and more like a flexible ecosystem. And that makes it much easier for you to find the distro that's right for you, which is obviously Fedora. If you found that to be useful and you've made it this far, then please feel free to like and drop a comment below. If not, then just drop an emoji for the sake of engagement. Thank you so much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.